Hi, everybody. Today I'm reading again from my book, Transforming Suffering into Wisdom. We're in the second intention. There are three intentions we use to transform suffering into wisdom. The first of which is being in the present moment. The second of which is pulling the plug on the self. And so we're investigating that intention at present. And to do that, I'm going to read a chapter, which is really just a page and a half. And here it's this chapter, Creating the Self as Something to Hold On to. There are many ways we create the self, calling it with our I thoughts or our me thoughts or our my thoughts into being. One of the times we bring the self into being is when we want to avoid feeling anxious. Perhaps we just developed a crush on our boss or suspect our landlord wants to throw us out. Rather than learn the third intention of being fearless and forgiving in the midst of suffering, in the midst of our anxiety here, we plunge into stories of ourselves filled with images of love or loss, of power or defeat instead. The self becomes a way to escape, to protect us from our uncomfortable feelings. But the cost is immense. In the tedium of our stories, we lose all our freshness, our vitality, even our life. We also create a self as a way to seek consolation or safety in something permanent. Perhaps we just had a wonderful evening that we want to hold on to or recall again and again, some accomplishment we had during the week at work. But even here, by clinging to the self, we lose the present moment and the nature of how things are, how each moment changes. We cling to an illusion, to what is past, what is abstract, and no longer true or alive. Another way the self can rob us of the present moment is when we find ourselves protecting our image rather than living authentically. Whether it's a job interview or someone just coming into our space, we cling to who we think we ought to be in relation to them and become disappointed or angry that we can't live up to our image or that we can't just be ourselves. We can plague ourselves with endless self-judgments. Soon enough, if we study the self, we discover that selfing is tedious, while the present moment is tasty. Even anxiety can become tasty, practicing the second intention. So how can we pull the plug on ourself without getting lost or alienated? How do we actually do the practice? And of course, that's the subject of our next talk, of my next reading, from Transforming Suffering into Wisdom.